Previously on the blood-soaked rose.
Try and talk to people, but they're very fearful, keep to themselves. You do start to notice these red strips from the corner of your eye, but they melt away.
These strips of red, what are they about?
Elves sticking together. They can't push this around, that's all.
I don't believe you. Something's up.
Drops a weight down, slips from your grasp, and bolts down the
How
street.
does a creature escape a witch's
There's
grasp?
somewhere on yourself.
What is it?
It's a sign.
Oh, that we stick together.
The elves stick together.
I know when you're lying.
Yeah, it's like a gathering of forces, an assembly
Don't
of
make
numbers.
lying a part of your process again.
Okay.
It reaches me that you are travelling among the service of a witcher. Make yourself known to Bertrand, coroner.
So what's your problem?
Unusual death is my problem. Patrol captain met a rather grisly end.
Something that looks to suck blood.
Question his patrol mates who are underneath.
And no one has thought to talk to these
Let's
people.
go talk to the soldiers while it's still fresh in their mind. And now,
The East Gate Garrison is a two-storey brick building against the outer wall of Vizima. Outside is a training yard, lightly fenced off, where a weary veteran is putting some recent conscripts through their paces as they graciously thrust spears at training dummies. Many of them appear altogether too old or too young to be very effective. As you make your way inside, flashing your letter of deputization, the tone inside is grim and somber, as conscripts and career soldiers alike are eating tightly rationed gruel or playing at dice or cards. Sergeant directs you to one billet, a room where soldiers stay in bunks, where Victor, Tess, and Yorn are staying. As the sergeant shows you to the room, a fist fight breaks out in an adjoining room, and he goes, you'll find him in there. Oi, cut that out. All of you is... And he's gone.
Why I order?
oh, I'm sorry.
So the mood is tense.
Yes.
Tense. When did the siege, when did it finally, when did we lock down? Yesterday?
Yesterday, yeah.
Yesterday.
The last, you're looking at me funny.
I thought we locked down 5 days ago.
Not 5 days ago, but the start of this investigative period, perhaps. So a few days now.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah. With
Awesome.
the last few refugees snuck in. So the place has been shut down for at least a few days now. No one in or out. Everyone here is here for the long haul.
So we head into the room. Is it just the three that are in there? Are we?
It's just the three at the moment, yeah. So 2 men are rolling dice against the wall and sucking down a ration of beer, whereas one woman, who you presume to be Tess, fixes links in her chainmail shirt on her bunk.
You're the patrol officers.
Officers, yeah. Maybe if they paid us like officers, that'd be alright.
We need you to tell us what happened the other night.
Yorn and Victor scoff. Pff. Tell you what happened, mutant. Those Scottail ambushed the guard captain, slit his throat, and that was it. All done.
You saw that, did you?
Yeah, that's what we saw. Those non-human scum killed the captain and vanished as soon as that. And if it was up to us, we'd throw them all out of Zima, let the black ones deal with them.
And Aurelius will have a puzzled expression, and he'll look over at Bryok. Bryok, could I just see your hands for a moment, please?
Yes, sir.
Oh, interesting. I don't appear to see any claws on you. Can I see your teeth, please?
Yes, sir.
Oh.
And Bryok will smile pleasantly and very, very charmingly.
Yeah.
Yawn, is it Victor Tess? Sorry, can you just have a look?
Tess looks up at this kind of display. She hasn't spoken yet, and she's kind of amused. She's smiling. She's like, yeah, these two are having it handed to them. She's like, mm-hmm.
Sorry, I it's quite early in the morning, so maybe I don't have my reading spectacles on at the moment. I don't appear to see any claws or teeth on our friend Bryok here. So pray tell me, could you please explain to me how it was
What are you implying, fancy man? Come on, out with it.
Reuben was bitten in the neck And something with great big claws slashed at his belly.
Yeah, well, perhaps you should be speaking to the one who actually stood their ground last night. Well, that's what Tess says.
Was that you?
That was me.
All right. Tell us what you know.
So Victor and Yorn kind of... fuck. And they make themselves scarce. They leave. Yeah, I can tell you what really happened. Those two turned tail as soon as the first whiff of blood was shown. Oh, it was the Scartel. We were ambushed. Found them cowering outside St. Lebedoa's, a few streets away.
So you stood your ground.
I stood my ground.
What did you see?
Well, that's the thing. It was odd. The whole thing was odd. We turned down this little street. It's called Serpent Street. That's what people call it. Extra patrols have been ordered in the area. There's been this rumours that some discontent's brewing in the area, and just we've been told to make a show of force. But the funny thing is, when we turned down Serpent Street, it got real eerie. Everyone there went real quiet. Like they knew we was coming down there. It was so strange. The non-humans all give us a bit of a wide berth, but it was even worse than that, even weirder than that. Everyone just, gave us, turned their backs on us, and everything went real still.
And then what?
Well, it got stranger still. Captain Reuben started talking like to someone who wasn't there, telling us he was not afraid. He's not gonna die. You come out of the shadows, but there was no one there. And he started panicking. And Reuben's, he was a veteran. He wasn't the most feared man.
This is unreasonable behaviour from
Yeah,
Reuben?
he was totally off his rocker. And then, when he finally was about to lose it, when panic gripped his eyes, that's when it happened.
And did you see what happened to him?
Yeah, this great furred thing folded itself out of the shadows directly. Reuben did raise his weapon, for what good it did him. First swipe, rent his armour down to his belly, and then the thing sunk its great maw into his shoulder with this slurping sound. I put my point with my spear into the thing, but just like that, it was gone, like it had never been there.
Was there anything on your spear? Any blood?
Yeah, there was some blood.
Can I have a look at that?
I've cleaned it since.
Oh, fucking hell. So it disappeared. What did it look like?
Well, I'd say it's 2 head taller than a man, maybe 2 meter tall. Had these big ears, great big ears, coming out from its head, and like I said, this gaping maw with teeth. And had like trinkets, like rings in its ears and round its wrists. And I remember it had strips of red cloth sewn into its fur, like tied into its fur. And then, like I said, it just folded into the shadows, folded in and out of the shadows, and was gone.
And it solely attacked Reuben and then left everyone else alone.
Just the captain, yeah. And then it was gone.
And the people... Were there still people in the alley at that time?
Yeah. All quiet like.
Watching?
They all watched from the shadows.
These people, did they all have red ribbons on them?
I think some must have, yeah, actually. Yeah, come to think of it, yeah. I reckon 1 or 2 of them must have.
Interesting.
And I've been seeing a bit more red on people's clothes and such around Little Markham.
Could be a coincidence.
Doubtful.
What you reckon it was that did him?
No, I'm not rightly sure. Something that can be incorporeal, can disappear. Now, was it wearing fur? It had fur.
Had fur, yeah.
Something that acts like a beast.
You said it disappeared. Is that just because it was dark and you weren't looking properly, or did it literally vanish into thin air?
I keep my head about me. I tell you, it folded into the shadows. Like, it was part of them. Like, they absorbed it. It's so hard to describe. I've never seen anything like it.
Witcher, have you ever heard of such a thing before?
Not to my knowledge.
You can make a monster monster knowledge roll at +5 with all these details.
Ooh!
There's quite a lot. You're like, so it can be corporeal. It's got fur, big ears with rings in it.
Rings and trinkets and things, yeah.
Yep.
All right.
So stylish.
You know what
beast.
it is.
I've got a pretty good idea
Yeah,
of what it is.
yeah.
The big ears tipped me.
Yeah.
That was a crit, that was.
Oh, you know exactly what it is,
That's
I'm
a
sure.
30.
So with a 30, you know that not only is it a vampire, it's probably one of the slightly higher orders of vampire. Not like a Nosferatu or an Alp or anything like that. Maybe like a Katakan. They can turn invisible, they can communicate telepathically, and they have intelligence. They have sometimes more cunning than a human, and they like to collect things, shiny things.
So once Tess has kind of given Eve all that detail, it's almost like crash zoom Eve's face. Fuck. It's a fucking vampire.
Tess is like, no.
One of the
Does that mean Ruben's going to come back as one?
No, don't think so.
Oh, do you need garlic? I know someone who's got a bit
No,
of garlic.
I don't need fucking garlic.
It's all right, actually, Tess. We have lots of garlic on hand as it stands.
That's what I hear. Garlic and a steak to the heart. Yeah.
correct.
No, that doesn't fucking help any of it.
This isn't exactly the creature you might have heard as a child.
I don't know. You only hear stories about these things.
That's exactly right. Stories. Well, this is going to be tricky, because some of the higher ones, they can blend in.
Tess, was it?
Right?
Have you heard any instances of this happening before in the area, or is this the very first time? Even, I'm talking hearsay or rumor.
No, that's the first time.
Or no other bodies found in the same way?
Not to my knowledge.
Right.
Well, that's good.
Well, yeah, but they're thinking about sending more folk into the non-human quarter. Show of force, and I'm just afraid this is going to keep happening.
Well,
Again and again.
I don't think it will try and escape, so we've got that to our advantage. Why would it? It's basically like a pig rolling in shite at the moment. All these humans walking around, non-humans, all sorts of blood available. That means it won't stray too far, hopefully, and I can cut it down where it stands.
Serpent Street, you said?
Aye, that's what they call it.
I think it's time we have a little visit.
Thank you, Tess. That was super helpful.
Just doing my job.
Keep doing it. It's great.
And make sure your comrades are better trained and better suited to the job.
There's no helping those losers. They'll be dead first time black ones come over the walls, guarantee you.
I can only hope.
Oh,
You'd have to have an army of witches to be able to fight vampires.
grim sense of humour, that one.
Yeah, it's funny.
Black ones don't... You don't think the black ones sent the vampire, do you?
Oh, no, I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
No.
God, if they had monsters on their side, that would be... Well, be hopeless.
Yeah, that would be scary, wouldn't it? But thankfully, the North is very strong and will defend against the Black Ones for a long, long time.
Oh, it's going to be a long winter.
Oh, and Tess, one last thing. Have you or any of the people in your ranks heard rumor of anyone carrying a rose? Anyone been around the spot?
No, precious few flowers this time of year.
Shame. Thank you for your time.
Well, we'll get back to it. She goes back to mending her armor. So, with a 30, I could probably
Yes.
tell you some things about catacons that might help you.
Prepare?
Prepare.
That would be
steaks.
lovely.
More garlic, more steaks.
Well,
Sunny
steaks,
disposition.
Steaks work
Yes.
in that stab anything with a stake in the heart and it'll die.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Stabbing helps.
Yes.
Okay. A few of my signs will help. There's a sign that will help with incorporeal creatures.
Yes.
They have to...
Which sign is that, Ellen?
I believe it is Earth, but just give me a second.
Do you know what that's called? Because I do. I've got it written down.
Yeah.
Hey!
And I remember because I like that sign. It's a good one.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. Well, I didn't write down how to pronounce it. Arden? Erden?
Erden, I think.
Erden.
Yeah.
Erden.
Erden. Because it's
Erden.
Y-R-D-E-N.
That's right.
Erden.
That's right.
As in earth. Erden.
Yes.
It's like a magic ring, essentially.
Yes. So Erden can prevent the creature becoming invisible.
All right. Great.
Yeah, anything in the... It's kind of like a fairy circle almost, so you can trap things in the... Well, they don't get trapped, but they do suffer penalties to speed and dexterity. So it kind of slows them down. And if
Slows
they are
them down, and yes,
caught
prevents
in the
them
middle,
becoming invisible.
they have to be visible.
Great. So you know that these creatures, they regenerate, they heal wounds very quickly. Faster at night, they don't burn up in the sun, but it does slow down their regeneration. As we've said, they do become invisible, and they like to attack from the darkness. They're so invisible, in fact, that they're immune to magical scanning. They don't respond to witch medallions, and even mages who are attuned to magic have to concentrate extremely hard and maybe even get a little lucky to sense them when they're in their presence. They can speak telepathically, and telepathy doesn't require you to know a language, although they have been known to learn Common every so often.
Okay.
This one spoke to Reuben.
But once the creature's in your mind, it doesn't need to speak the same language
It can
as
just
you.
speak to you.
It can just speak in
And you understand.
the sense.
But if it wanted to, it could speak human. It could speak common.
Possibly. They have been known to.
These ones are particularly intelligent. So.
Yeah. How do you kill one? Well, again, with a 30, I'm just going to lay it out for you.
Verbal combat.
I will I will need some vampire oil.
Vampire oil is a good start. Black blood potions. Black blood potions are drunk by witches and make their blood poisonous. So that if you do get attacked, it burns the creature that attacks you. Drinks
Fantastic.
your blood. As I've said, their regeneration is slowed in sunlight, and they're very, very flammable. Finally, and I'm only giving you this because of your excellent crit roll, this is the little bit
fizzle
extra that you remember reading from a personal account during your Witcher studies by a very crafty cat witcher who noted that whatever poisons or alcohols or narcotics a person might drink, when a vampire drinks from that person, it affects them too.
So you can get a vampire drunk.
You can.
Great.
If you feed them a drunk person,
Yeah.
you can impair them.
Is this meal vegan? Well, it is a vegan that you're bleeding dry, so...
That is all I can tell you about vampires or catacons. It's pretty much the whole thing.
That's plenty of information.
Plenty of
That's so
information.
much.
If our Witcher cannot come up with a plan, I think we're fucked.
Yes.
And what did you... Sorry, not sure if it was improv or not, but what did we hear that Reuben, said in response to the telepathy?
He's not afraid. He's not going to die. You'll never take him.
All right, so just a pretty stock standard. I'm going to kill you.
Well,
Yeah, he was responding to something like, your time has come.
Great.
You're going to die.
Oh,
I'm
so
gonna
sorry.
feast on your
Malevolent
flesh."
talking.
yeah.
Yes.
So the he in that sense is Reuben saying, I'm not going to die.
Yes.
Right,
Yeah.
right,
He
right.
heard
You'll
something
never-
in his mind clearly and then responded and then got eviscerated.
Yeah.
Yes. He was eviscerated at the moment of panic. So the idea is that the creature...
May have revealed itself.
Yes.
In its
Threw him
full-
off his rhythm.
Yes. Well, it terrifies its victims
Yes.
until they're paralyzed by fear.
Yeah, and then strikes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great.
Vampire
Like,
style. You know all about that, Chris.
I'm all about that vampire stuff. Listen to season 2 of Roll to Cast, Vampire the Masquerade.
It's like...
Slightly different, but...
Very different, but...
I'm just thinking of American Gods with Chernobog talking about the cows, you want to strike them so that it doesn't panic them because then the meat tastes bad.
Yeah, stress. Well, I think it tastes better for vampires. The more
if you are
stress.
stressed.
Yeah.
Oh no.
For these guys, anyway.
I've got
yeah.
anxiety.
As they are
They don't need to do nothing.
as they are beginning to kind of walk out of the barracks, Aurelius will kind of sidle up and in more of a whisper, still for everyone to hear, but to Eve. Please tell me you have faced a vampire before. This wouldn't be a new experience, would it?
Yep.
Yes, it would be a new experience, or yes, you have faced one before?
Do you know how many monsters there are?
At least 3.
Look, supplies for hunting monsters, it's been my second nature, let's just say. Cutting throats is a lot easier for coin. But I did learn about vampires from the Dinmarv, and I do know a witcher who did fight one.
Do you want to roll me just a d10?
Sure. 3.
Yeah, you definitely haven't fought a catacon before.
No.
No.
Maybe a lesser vampire.
A lesser
Yeah, lesser
vampire,
vampire?
yeah.
These are not your average stock. These are higher vampires, more powerful.
That's why I'm asking. Well, in your words, fuck.
No, friends. Think of it this way. If this is a powerful creature, and you two are very powerful people, as I've discussed earlier, you're all attracting each other to yourselves.
Great, so we're attracting more powerful things that'll kill us.
Well, you're equally powerful, I would presume. I have great faith in you both.
I don't understand. I don't understand though. Is she mixed up in all this?
I mean, it did have red, so maybe.
Possibly.
Are there any markings on elves or humans or dwarves that would suggest that they are vampires in human or in ordinary form?
That's a good question because higher vampires can blend in, so to say.
Catacons don't.
Okay, alright.
Not in a TTRPG anyway.
Yeah, I was just going to ask like...
There are conflicting accounts out there.
Yeah.
They have been known to.
They have been known to. If you get... It's not very much further into the higher vampires before they become sophisticated enough to create the illusion of human form. Catacons are... They can mess with your mind and play with shadows, but they don't hide amongst... As far as you know, they don't hide amongst people.
It would be like looking at some of the mages, right? Where it's like, if you know magic, you might be able to tell that there is some sort of glamour, but not real. You know, it's like Geralt kind of staring at Yennefer for the first time and being like, "What? what is going on?" Yeah,
But
what are
the
you?
understanding is with the catacon, they would not hide amongst people in plain sight. In which case, well, that means one of two things, really, is that either this particular person, it's just a coincidence that they both have a band and were that creature, or, and he kind of looks towards Bryok, the end game of people who are offered that band is to become one of those things.
Or that they'll be protected somehow. Tess said that all the other people in the alley were watching.
Cool.
There are people that know more than they're letting on, and I wonder if someone who has been invited into the fold could extract that information.
Yeah, I can do that for you both. I'd be very happy to, sir.
Safely.
I'll do my best.
Yeah, watch your back.
It would be a lot less scary if someone else could watch my back for me.
Well, if you get into a scrape, you can always ask me. I'm happy to do any killing or fighting. But in terms of teasing out information, I think you would be much better at that.
So am I the bait?
Yes.
Well, at least we're honest.
Oh,
I
gosh.
love having such a blunt character. Yes. What do you think?
In Eve's mind, it's just Bryok, but in like a little lamb costume.
With a little red sash around my neck.
Oh, a red sash.
So what's the plan? You
Okay.
can go.
Should we head to the street then?
Well, I also need to get some components. I need to make some vampire oil. And I need to make some black blood potion.
Well, I could go with Bryok while we at least get preliminary information.
I think that'd be wise.
If you can get yourself prepared, we can come together, then we can fight this thing.
Speaking of, do you have any fire spells?
He smiles at you.
Is that a yes?
You bet your ass. Felt weird coming out of Aurelius' mouth, but in that moment,
That's
he
a
believes
nice
it.
colloquialism from
Yes.
me. That's what they used to say down in Gamira.
just a lot more rougher.
Yeah. They don't bet the farm, they have to bet their luxury. You can afford to bet a farm. We had to bet our arses.
Roll to Cast The Blood-Soaked Rose is a Baby Beard Media production. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Discord. All our podcasts are on Spreaker, Spotify, YouTube, and all good podcatchers. You can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/babybeard. The Witcher tabletop role-playing game is property of our Talsorian Games. Used with permission.